Hi, this is Rick Bice with Bice Fit Exercises on behalf of Edmonds Park and Recreation. Today we're going to go through a circuit training class. What we'll do is we'll alternate between strength training exercises for the muscles, bones, and connective tissues, and then cardiovascular exercise for the heart, lungs, and circulatory system. What we'll do, it's all timed, so what we'll do is we'll do a minute on an exercise. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll do another minute on the same exercise or something very similar, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'll call all those out as they happen. What you'll need for this exercise program today is a chair over here, maybe some light to medium dumbbells, and some resistance tubing or band. Maybe light or medium, whatever you have on that. With or without handles, doesn't matter on that. We will begin with a warm-up. We will go through the exercises, then we'll finish off with a cool down and then some stretches at the end. This is all at your own pace, so we strive for a minute's worth of work. If you need to take your breaks, quicker than that, or if by the end of the minute you're not tired or fatigued, you could just go straight through that break that we have. So it's all up to you, the kind of resistance you use, whatever works for your body. Make sure your surrounding area is clear, that you've got room to move around, arm's width sort of stuff at least. You have a proper footwear for the floor that you have. If you've got slippery hardwoods, make sure that you're wearing good shoes that aren't going to slip and slide. If you've got thick carpet, making sure that your feet aren't going to get, isn't going to get caught on the carpet or something and trip you up. So just being careful. All right, let's begin. All right, we're going to begin today with a warm-up. So nice and easy. Let's just start an easy side step or so. We'll go for about 2 minutes or so. What we're looking to do is to get the heart rate going. We're looking to get the breathing going a little bit more. All right, we're just trying to get some circulation, bringing some oxygen to the muscles, some blood flow with nutrients to the muscles, letting the lungs stretch out slightly, greasing up the joints. Okay, this is pretty gentle, nice and easy. We're just barely looking to, you might break a sweat, just get the breathing up a little bit. We're just gonna kind of play around with different movements. If you've got an aerobic step or a set of stairs right next to you, using one step or just going up and down the stairs nice and easy could be a good warm-up. If you've got a treadmill or rowing machine or elliptical or a bike or anything in the room with you, something like that would work great for a couple minutes just to warm you up. All right, just depends what you have and what you want to do. Dance steps, if you've got classes you've done before for aerobics or for dance, things like that. Whatever you would like to do that would warm your body up. But just a couple minutes. We got a little less than 30 seconds to go. Again, just getting the body ready for more action. And we'll take about a 30-second break in between this and our first exercise. A couple more seconds. All right, well done. So what we'll do is go through the exercises. First one we're going to do is a squat with a hip abduction. So if you want to help with balance, you'll need your chair. I've got my chair on a mat, that way it doesn't slide very easily. It's not going to keep me from falling or anything, but it's going to give me a little bit of balance here. So squat, what we're looking at is to take a seat and stand back up. All right, you're going to take a seat as low as you feel comfortable and standing back up. Feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. How low you go is up to you. The lower you go, the harder it's going to be. We want to make sure that those knees are not going forward, okay? You want the knees right above the shoelaces, between the shoelaces and toe area. So what we'll do is we'll come up, and then we'll go hip abduction, and then down for a squat, hip abduction, okay? Back and forth for a minute, 30-second break, and another minute. So go ahead and start going here. Head and chest are going to face forward. You're just hinging from the hips slightly. And then here, it's just a small motion here. We're just bringing the leg out to the side, working the outside of the hip and glutes. Just a small motion. Think about as you do that, you're going to squeeze the cheek on that. All right, take a break there. So we're just looking to go out a small movement. It's not really large. We're not leaning over anything. I'm just going to come out here. It's going to be to the side, maybe just behind me barely as I squeeze that cheek, and then down into the squat, and then the other side with the leg straight, okay? Nice and gentle, you know, making sure you plant yourself so that you're ready for that squat, and then go into the hip abduction. All right, so a couple more seconds. Head and chest always facing forward. Remember to breathe the whole time. Don't hold your breath at all. Just breathe. How low you go is up to you. Here we go. Down. And you may find, you know, you have to adjust your footing a little bit. Really stick that rear out. Keep your weight more on your heels. Use this chair for balance. If you don't need it, then don't use it for balance. If you want to hold some dumbbells or kettlebell or something to add a little more weight and resistance to your body, you're welcome, of course, for that. 10 seconds. All right, nice job. Okay, so what we're looking at next is the bent over external rotation with the shoulder blade squeeze. You need a couple small dumbbells for this one. Small dumbbells. All right, so feet about hip width apart. You're gonna squat down just slightly and hinge forward. Low back straight. Not like this, but straight. You're gonna keep palms up, elbows to your sides, all right? You're gonna keep your hands more on the insides of the dumbbells, all right? Leaning forward, and we're gonna externally rotate out with the shoulders and back in. Slow and controlled. Go out as far as you can. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards your spine and back in. Palms are up, elbows are bent at about 90 degrees. Keep breathing. There you go. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Keep those elbows tucked into your sides, to your ribs. Palms up. Elbows bent at 90 degrees. 12 more seconds here. Okay, nice job. So 30-second break here. So again, elbows tucked to the sides, bent at 90 degrees, palms facing forward or up. You're hinging forward. The more you hinge forward, the more resistance and the harder it's going to be. The heavier the dumbbells, of course, the tougher it's going to be. The upper shoulder blades, rhomboid area, is going to get some work because you're squeezing those shoulder blades, a good second hold or so each one. Slow and controlled, all right? All right, second set here, another minute. So in position, hinging and leaning forward. And let's go. And then rotator cuffs are getting some work with the external rotation. You want light weights with these. Low back and torso and hips and legs are having to stabilize and hold you. Keep breathing. If you need to take a break, take a break. Remember, we try for a whole minute of work, and we want to pick a weight or a resistance that lets us get a minute of work in. We want to be tired by the end of that minute. We want to be done, but we want to be able to finish it and not fail. A couple more seconds. All right, nice job. Let's take our 30-second break here. All right, so we're looking at seated chest flies. So you will need your chair and your resistance tubing or band. All right, so taking a seat on the first half of the chair here. I'm going to bring this behind you. Your band's behind you, right at armpit level, around your body. Straighten the elbows out. And you're going to open nice and wide and close. Nice and wide and close all the way. All right. The thicker and heavier band you have, the harder it's going to be. If you've got a short band, or you've got longer arms and a longer wingspan, this could get a little tougher also. So different factors, of course, will make it more difficult or easier. If I want this tougher, I will just grab in a little further and get a little bit more stretch out of my tubing here. Or I could just switch to a thicker band. 10 seconds. Trying to keep those elbows fairly straight the whole time. Sitting up nice and tall, good posture. Breathing, don't hold your breath. Okay, take a break there. All right. So again, we're working pectorals in the chest, more of the cleavage area, and then we're getting front deltoid, some work also. If your bands are really long or you've got handles that are dangling around, just kind of wrap things up in your hands a little bit to keep things from dangling and moving around. All right, 10 seconds till the start, so getting in position again. Good body posture, sitting up nice and tall. All right, here we go. Keep breathing. Nice and wide and close. Some good shoulder work in those front deltoids. And the chest muscles are getting some work too. Triceps and the backs of the arms are having to do some work to hold those elbows straight against the resistance here. You can do this standing too. It doesn't have to be seated. But again, remember, good posture. Sitting up nice and tall, no slouching. 15 seconds. Keep going. You got this. Five seconds, and then we have a 30-second break between exercises. All right, nice job. Okay, next we have cardio here. All right, so moving things out of the way a little bit. If you want to go straight into cardio, go for it. Otherwise, we'll take our 30 seconds. So cardio, similar to what we did for warm-up, just a little bit more vigorous, a little tougher, a little faster. Okay. All right. Shake out those shoulders and chests here. Okay, here we go. So we got about 2 minutes or so for cardio. Again, similar to the warm-up. If you've got machines around or a set of stairs, an aerobic step or something, use those, whatever works for you. If you have, dance moves from dance classes or, line dancing, Zumba, ballroom dancing, and whatever you like. If you've got a jump rope and you have the room, whatever works for you. But trying to keep that heart rate elevated, trying to keep your breathing elevated, that's what we're shooting for. We're just spiking the heart rate up here. And we'll do some exercises for the strength, and the heart rate will drop down slightly. And then we hit a cardio for for 2 minutes and spike it back up. That's what we're doing now. We've got a minute left. And you can do moves that I'm doing, or you can do something else. Again, it's all up to you. And how vigorous and fast you go is up to you also. Watch, of course, with what's around you. Chairs, furniture, walls. And then, of course, your floor. You know, you got nice hardwoods and some good shoes on, or you have thick carpet that you're catching your toe on. Got to be careful, right? So make sure you've got a good spot for this. Always breathing. And we've got 10 seconds. Keep going. Okay, nice job. All right, so our break before the next exercise here. All right, we are on to the next one here. So grab a pair of dumbbells, light to medium. All right, so we are on to the hammer curls here to start with. So with a nice firm grip on your dumbbells or cans of soup, or whatever you're using, make sure that you have dry hands. We're gonna let the arms dangle at the sides, brace our core a little bit, and then curl up this way. And you can do it singles, or you can do them at the same time. All right, or you can alternate. Either way, let's get going here. So all the way bent, and then all the way straight. All the way bent, and all the way straight. Nice and controlled. You're bracing your core. We don't want the hips moving at all, okay? We want to isolate just the elbows. And this is the hammer curl. Think about if you've ever held a hammer smacking a nail with the palm in towards you. That's the position we want here. So again, singles or alternating or at the same time, whatever works for you. And controlled. Your pace can be quick as long as you're not getting any momentum involved, okay? We don't want to swing the arms at all. Again, we just want the elbows moving. So hammer curl, working the brachioradialis, kind of in the upper arm and forearm area. All right, take a break here. Nice. So our second set, we're going to do something different. The reverse curl. This is going to be more palm down. So here, this sort of motion here. Okay, so palm down, the opposite of your traditional curl. Palm down. Same sort of thing as the hammer curls we just did. No momentum, no swing in the arm, no getting the hips involved. Okay, we're just isolating. So bracing the core. All right, a couple more seconds, we'll begin. Make sure to breathe the whole time. Don't hold your breath at all. Dry hands, firm grip, good posture. And here we go. A minute of this. Nice and controlled. All right. Depending on the range of motion of your forearms, you can elect to rotate every time too, and then rotate as you come back up. All right. If your dumbbells are hitting your hips, or if you just don't have a lot of pronation in the forearms, and the rotation where you're rotating the palm downwards, then you can rotate every time, as opposed to if I just keep the palms facing down and back the whole time. Either way is fine. Okay, but we always want if they're not facing in, they're facing down. That's that reverse curl. 5 more seconds. Keep breathing, and we'll be on to the next exercise. All right, well done. Okay, bent over tricep kickback and hamstring curl is what we're doing here next. So again, keep these same dumbbells. If you need to grab a hold of heavier ones or smaller ones, that can work too, but this next exercise will probably use the same weight here. So bent over, this position here, we're hinging from the hips, okay? Weight is on, kind of our middle feet here. We're going to allow the head and the chest facing forward, a lot like the squat that we've done before. Elbows are going to be back, okay? Bring those elbows back as if they're pinched to your sides of your ribs. And then we're going to straighten the elbows, all right? So once we get in that position, then we begin the exercise here. The tricep kick back. Working the triceps, the upper, backs of the upper arms, okay? And of course, upper back has to do a little bit of work to hold this position. Middle back, lower back, also to help support and hold this position. It's a combination of leaning forward and keeping those elbows back, squeezing them, you know, your shoulder blades together towards your spine. Because what we want is the backs of the arms facing up towards the ceiling, okay? If I'm standing here, I'm not getting quite the work I need. So here, with a combination of this and leaning forward, hinging forward from the hips, I can do this like this, all right? All right, take a break. So you can alternate, you know, alternate if you want to, or just one at a time, or both at the same time like I was doing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add hamstring curls. So basically, we're gonna shift weight from side to side and bending your knee as if you're gonna kick yourself in the rear. Okay, your heel doesn't have to touch your rear, of course, but you're just bending your knee as if you were trying to kick yourself in your own butt. All right, leaning forward. So take position. What I'll do is I'll alternate. So one leg, opposite arm. Leg, opposite arm. All right. This one's a lot easier if you piece it out and alternate. If you can do it at the same time, it's all up to you, depending on your coordination. But working that triceps in the upper arm, and then the hamstrings and the backs of the thighs, and then all the other muscles we talked about before having to stabilize. I'm just getting into kind of a rhythm and a cadence here. Feet, you know, good hip width, shoulder width apart at least. 20 seconds. Head and chest are facing forward. I'm looking kind of down in a or at an angle here. Backs of the arms are burning a little bit. All right. All right, nice job, well done. Whew. Seated lean back with stir the pot next. So get rid of one of your dumbbells, keep one. Again, you know, probably a smaller dumbbell, depending on what you need. All right, taking a seat. Seated lean back with stir the pot. So lean back, this position here. Working the abdominal muscles. Okay, you want to breathe the whole time. Good posture. You're just hinging and leaning back. I'm sitting more on the edge of the chair. And what we're going to do is stir the pot. All right, so with your dumbbell, one dumbbell, two hands, as if you're stirring a big kettle of soup while we lean back. All right, if you need a break, sit upright and you can stir the pot either direction, counterclockwise, clockwise, it doesn't matter. How big that pot is up to you. I can make it a really big pot and get the whole body involved, rotating and leaning to the side and back and then coming up forward, all right? Or I can make it a tiny pot, right? You know, all that about chest height. Arms straightening or keeping the arms bent. It's all up to you. And how far you lean back is up to you also as you do it. All right, take a break here. So again, we're sitting on the edge, not far enough back that I'm not touching the back of the chair. When I lean back, you know, maybe just barely touching it. I don't want to put weight on the back of the chair because I want my abdominal muscles doing the work to hold me, okay? Making sure, you know, that you know if your feet are going to pop up or not, depending on how much weight you have up here, as opposed to how heavy your legs are, all right? So being careful and watching out for that if that does happen so you don't lose your balance. I've got a mat under my chair so that it's not going to slide on this hardwood. So be careful of making sure your chair doesn't move around also. All right, so second set here. And again, counterclockwise or clockwise, it doesn't matter. I'll get some larger ones in here. And I'm leaning to the sides and then the back. Keeping my feet planted on the ground here though. Stirring a real big pot. And obviously, you know, the heavier dumbbell you have, the harder it's going to be. You know, you can use a kettlebell. If you have, you know, a big gallon jug of water or juice or a bag of flour, you know, that sort of stuff can work too. As long as you have a good, secure, firm grip, dry hands. You don't want to dump this on your feet or your floor. All right, 5 seconds. There you go. All right, nice job. All right, so about 2.5 minutes or so of cardio. Again, whatever works for you. Getting that heart rate elevated. Getting your breathing elevated. How fast you go is up to you. Just some continuous moving. Continuous moving. Get that heart going. Get those lungs firing up. Here I'm just doing a little bit of uppercut work here. You can do some shadow boxing. Again, whatever you know how to do as far as moving. Maybe you were in some sports and you did drills, or maybe you've got one of those agility ladders on the floor there. Those are fun for some quick feet exercises. A little bit of a ladder climb. The key is to keep moving. Consistent movement, even if it's just a little bit. And if you need to take a break, take a break. It's all up to you. Whatever works for your body. Whatever kind of challenge you're looking for. Ratchet up that intensity, either up or down. Five seconds. All right, nice job. Whew, okay, get the heart going a little bit. Well done. Okay, so Arnold presses are what we have next, named after Arnold Schwarzenegger here. I'm going to use the smaller dumbbells for this guy. So you can do this against the wall or just standing upright. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with the dumbbells racked in front of my shoulders, elbows in and facing forward. Again, firm grip, dry hands on those dumbbells. You can do this seated or standing. Just make sure that, again, the abdominals are tight, core is tight, giving yourself a good, stance if you're standing. Good posture, relaxing the shoulder. What we're going to do is we're going to go out and up and then down. Out and up and down and in. Okay. Out and up, just kind of rotating till the palms are forward on the top, and then rotating as you come down, elbows and shoulders, forearms. You can do the single arm or double arm. We're getting deltoids in the shoulders. We're getting triceps in the back of the upper arm. 20 seconds left. Dumbbells can tap, touch. Again, just being careful that it's not too hard if you are. Head just stays neutral, looking forward. All right, right, take a break there. So again, what makes this tough is really just the amount of weight you're using. The heavier the weight, of course, the tougher it's going to be. Again, firm grip, dry hands. You don't want to dump these on your head or your feet or your hardwood floors. So again, a good grip on this. Good posture. No momentum, no hips involved or anything, right? No arch in the back. If you find that you're getting out of form, then take a break. Even if we haven't hit that many yet, no worries. Just take a break. All right, so let's get in position again. So dumbbells racked in front, palms facing you. And let's begin. So open up, and all the way up top, and then back in. Try to make it as fluid as you can. One motion as opposed to, a couple different motions. So there's a rotation going on along with up and down motion. Tight on those abdominals. Good posture. Head is just neutral, looking forward. We don't want to get neck muscles involved. How big kind of a rotation, how wide those elbows go out and stuff, or how narrow you keep it is up to you. You can kind of play around with that kind of range of motion. Looking good. All right, and that's all we got. Nice job there, well done. Okay, so let us get rid of at least one dumbbell. Keep one dumbbell. Get rid of one and keep one. So what we're going to do now is the side lunge with a dumbbell pass. So your lunges, again, make sure you have a nice bit of space side to side. What you're going to do is you're going to step to the side, switch a good chunk of your weight, 60-70% of your weight onto the outside leg. Just like the squat, the weight is more on the heel and the arch. Toe can be flared out slightly, and you're going to squat down as far as you can. You kind of reach out with that dumbbell. Then you're going to go push back to the middle, switch hands, step out to the other side, shifting your weight to this side, reach out with the dumbbell, and then back up. So again, trying to keep that weight to the side and back. We don't want that knee going forward, just like with the squats. We want that knee right above the shoelaces. Okay? Back and forth. How deep you go is up to you. The deeper you go, the more resistance you're going to get, the tougher it is to get back up. The bigger you step, if you take a nice wide long step, it's going to be a little tougher to push back, get back into the center. But if you take too small of a step, it's a little tougher also. So find, for your body and your leg length and the space you have around you, what's a good step? I'm hinging just a little bit, but I'm trying to keep that low back straight. Head and chest are, facing forward for the most part still, and I'm breathing. All right, take a break there. So we're working thigh muscles. We're working glute muscles in the rear, a little bit of the outside of the hip muscles also, outside of the thigh. Some abdominal, spinal muscles all have to stabilize. And a little bit of arms, shoulders as we're reaching that dumbbell. Heavier the dumbbell, of course, tougher it's going to be. You can do this without, reaching or any dumbbells, of course, too. All right, so in position again, feet about hip width to shoulder, or hip to shoulder width to start. And then we're going to take a nice big step. And as I do that, I'm going to kind of twist my torso so that it's facing over that knee. A little bit, just a little bit of a rotation there. How far you go out to the side is up to you. It can be really a straight to the side or more of a diagonal, up to a good 45-degree angle. Just kind of depends on what's comfortable for you. What's comfortable for your knees. That back leg just kind of hangs out there, more for stability. That front leg is doing most of the work of stepping and holding your weight and then trying to press you back to center, as opposed to, you don't want the inside leg pulling you back. Okay. All right, nice job there. Okay, so bent over curl with a twist with resistance tubing. So get rid of your dumbbell. Never get a sip of water if you need to. All right. So we'll need your resistance tubing. If you got a handle, great. If not, no worries. So what we'll do is we're going to start so where that band goes under your foot and through the outside, around the outside, okay? So what you want is you're going to step on the band far enough to where when your hand is straight, you're getting a little bit of a curl. Or I'm sorry, a little bit of a resistance when your hand is straight, okay? Or I'm sorry, elbow is straight, all right? So when it's fully down, I'm getting just a little bit of pull before I even start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to curl and twist slightly in, all right? Keeping enough weight on that foot so that, this tubing doesn't pop out, but I'm going to shift my weight a little bit from the standing foot, a little more weight onto this other foot as I twist. So just a little bit of a rotation and a lean forward as I bicep curl, as I bend that elbow as far as I can, and then slowly bring it back to straight. So it's just a little bit of a bicep curl, and then we're getting a little bit of a twist and weight shift. 10 more seconds. And I'm just kind of lifting my foot up when I shift my weight, and then I rotate out. All right, take a break there. So now what we'll do is we'll switch to where you're standing on the other foot. So again, where you stand is up to you. Trying to get a little bit of tension just to start with before I even start moving. So good posture, standing up tall, and then we got about 8 more seconds, but I'll start up for you. Just kind of rotate here. Again, adjust that. You want it more on the, the ball of the foot or closer to the toes. That way, as that knee bends, it's not going to get in the way of the tubing here. And just kind of leaning forward and really actively turn and rotate the torso the opposite direction of the where the tube is. So we're getting a little bit of bicep curl for the biceps here, and then we're getting again a little bit of work on those obliques and abdominals, having to rotate and bend. Low back's doing some work. Thighs are having to do a little bit of work. We got 5 seconds. Keep it up and breathing. All right, nice job. Okay, we got our cardios and cool down here, so let's get rid of your resistance tubing. Okay, and again, you can get going right away, or we'll grab a little sip of water. Okay, start with some uppercuts here. So what we'll do is we'll do another cardio. We'll cool down a little bit, work on some balance, and then stretching. We're done with all the strength part. So I'm just sidestepping, a little bit of tap here. With some uppercuts, consistent motion, all right? So 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, and then we'll go into another 2-minute cool down. So we want you to actively get your heart rate up now. Let's work hard to push yourself for our last cardio. All right, let's go back and forth. Just take a couple steps forward and back, kind of depending on how much room you have, right? Maybe you're taking 3 or 4 or 5 steps. Maybe you got a nice long spot. All right, so back to some regular marching. Narrow marching here. You can, do whatever with the arms. Let's go to some wide marches. Keep that pace up and back to narrow and wide. Looking good there, and narrow. If you want a little less impact, keep those toes on the ground instead of fully stepping. Keep those toes on the ground. Give you a little less impact when you're marching. Let's go wide. Got about 45 seconds. Let's move forward. Nice and wide. And then narrow and move back. A couple paces. Wide. Move forward. And narrow. And move back. And wide. Narrow. Wide. Move forward. Narrow. Let's change it up. Wide. Move backwards. And narrow. Keep going. Almost there. All right. So now we're on a cool down, so let's slow that march up, okay? Slow that march up. Let's do a little heel tapping forward to back. And just a little grab and pull. So we're actively trying to get our heart rate back down. We don't want to stop moving totally. We want that blood to circulate throughout the whole body and not just pool, in the larger muscles. If we just stop and do nothing, it might start pooling a little bit, not circulating through the body as well. Brain doesn't get as much blood. Could lead to possible lightheadedness, fainting, falls, injuries. So we want to get that heart rate down below 100 beats per minute if you're counting, if you're taking your pulse. So what we do, I'm going to go to the side here. Nice long one here. What we're going to do is just keep moving, even if it's gentle. You can walk around your house, grab your water, and just drink while you kind of move around. As long as you're just moving. Got about 50 seconds left. All right, let's do a little bit of balance here. So let's go up on our toes. And we're just gonna walk around the room on our toes, okay? Work on our calves, but also, we're still moving. Give us a little cool down, back and forth, just on the toes. Now switch it up to the heels. Okay, nice and easy. Toes up in the air. Walking on those heels, right? So again, we're still moving. Now we're getting a little bit of work on the calves and the shins. Nice. Keep moving. All right. Just a little bit of marching. Okay. If you need to cool down more, if your heart rate hasn't come down somewhat, pause the video or something and keep going. Keep cooling down. Otherwise, we're going to do a little bit of balance. So what you can do, a couple of things, you can do a little bit of single leg balance. If you just want to hold on to, grab, if you need, grab your chair or your windowsill or your wall. A little bit of a single leg balance here. Okay. So I'm going to shut this timer off for now. Not going to use that right now. So a little bit of one leg balance if you want to do that. Or what I'll do is I'll bring you through a little dynamic balance here. So let's start off with thinking about if you have a dog, if it's a Chihuahua and you got to step over it because it's sleeping, you're going to step over this sort of stuff. Okay, little dog. Now maybe you've got a bigger dog, German Shepherd, right? Or a Great Dane, and you're really having to step over. All right, maybe 1 or 2 paces to the side each direction. Really focusing on stepping up and over. Real easy. Keeping that balance. Hold on to a wall if you need to. If you have a hallway or a nice chunk of wall that's doesn't have chairs or anything on it, just kind of doing it and holding on if you need to. What we'll do is we'll make it even tougher. So let's go over 1, 2, and then let's pause at the top. Okay, a little single leg balance, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, that sort of thing. One big step, 2 big steps, up, couldn't hold it. And then try to hold 3 seconds or 5 seconds, right? Try to do it without losing your balance. Big step, and then hold that position. There you go. And hold. Excellent. One more time to this side. And hold. Ooh, nice. Okay, well done. So a little bit of dynamic balance, just kind of moving while you balance, as opposed to more of that static single leg balance. Okay. All right, let's finish off with some stretches here. So we've got, first stretch we'll do, get rid of this chair. This sort of motion here. I'm gonna squat down and hinge forward slightly. I'm gonna dig the heel in on that front leg. And then what I want to do is try to stretch the back of the thigh, back of the knee. Nice and gentle. Hold that for a good 20 or 30 seconds. No bouncing, no jerking. And like usual, always breathing. All right, switch legs here. And you can hold on to something if you need to. This is not a balance exercise. So do this next to a wall or a chair, something where you can hold on to if you need to. Now, if you want a little more calf stretch, bring those toes up towards your face. You feel that a little bit more in the calf. And you can kind of reach down as if you're grabbing towards your knee or your foot. Again, real gentle. Keep that low back straight. Try not to let everything round out. All right, well done. Okay, another stretch. We're going to do upper middle back, little low back here. So if I stand, if I pelvic tilt or tuck, bring that pelvis forward, that'll straighten that low back. I'm going to squeeze the cheeks together on my rump so that low back straightens out from that natural curve. And then I'm going to reach as far as I can away from my body. I'm going to interlace my fingers, look at my palms, and then round out the upper and middle back and just stretch my hands away from the body as far as I can. Hold that position, but breathe. You can accentuate the wrists so that you get a little bit of stretch on those forearms, on those extensors, on the tops of your forearms. Try as best you can to keep your head neutral. Easy to let that neck kind of crane forward. Try to relax your shoulders. All right, nice job. One more. So start in this position. Feet, give yourself a good stance. Elbows are out to your sides, 90-degree angle in the armpits and the elbows. Kind of like a field goal here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the elbows back, arms back, try to stretch our chest and the fronts of the shoulders. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then think about, you can also bring those hands together or behind the head, whatever range of motion you have. Chest out. You may lean back a little bit, hips can come from forward. Now let's straighten the elbows, palms up, thumbs back. And then reach those thumbs backwards as far as you can. Now dip your wrists, bend your fingers back and your wrists backwards. We'll stretch you can feel that in the wrist and the flexors on the bottom part of the forearm. All right, nice job. All right, shake it out. Whew, good workout today. Well done today. All right, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thanks for being here.